Big production.
What is poppin', squad? So I'm gonna go over this Ncbtrades crypto ETF real quick. I do think right off the hop, I'm really interested in these names right now. I want to start doing a weekly breakdown of these videos from here on out because I do think there is I think it's important to pay attention to these names. The ones that survive are going to be giving ridiculous returns in the next few years, especially being at these like ridiculously low prices. For example, let's look at Wndr from the very high. We're down 95%, right? So think about that. If you think these names are undervalued and you are bullish on one of them, whether it's Hut, Hive, Glxy, Wndr, whatever it is, it probably is worth grabbing shares at these price, especially if you're a long-term investor, because the ROI is at its maximum potential. Like the opportunity to get that massive ROI, it comes from moments like this when nobody's paying attention and everyone's way too scared to invest, right? Which is why on Wndr here, I've noted kind of the emotional aspects of what you expect in a market. Like around here, when Bitcoin's at all-time highs, you get euphoric, and this is where they trap people, right? Now, when you come down to here and this happens, a 95% drawdown, nobody even wants to look at this shit. So keep that in mind. And a lot of these names are like that. So we're going to go through with them. I'm not going to go too over Wndr here just because I do have many other videos breaking down their business, my overall bullish thesis on the company. So check those out. They're just a few weeks back there. But Wndr, I do think being around this fear area, or pretty much 52-week lows, is the time that, don't sleep on these names. So we have Glxy here from the very high. Their very high we made was back in April of 2021. But from that price down, we're again right around 90 to 95%. And the cool thing I like about this name is when I put on the volume profile, it gives away some pretty cool information. So right now, the average price of people buying, and this is all the way back from 2019, right? The average price here is around $7.10. There is also a lot of people who have bought around the $23 to $19 area. So I do think it's also important to pay attention to that, right? Like, I don't think Glxy will go anywhere. They're one of the kind of the big players in this crypto related stock space, right? They were going to try to get onto the NASDAQ. I don't know what's going on with that. But these are things we'll be looking for. I'm assuming they're still going to attempt at making that a thing. They are above the price that would require them to be on the NASDAQ. So if they make it out of this, right, this is a bear market. The ones that make it out of the bear market, I'm telling you, man, it's going to go stupid, crazy, dumb, retarded. It's going to be like these numbers are going to go it's going to be out of control. It's going to cause a lot of people to be like, why did I not invest? But that's not going to be you. So what I like here is that we're slowly starting to base. I'm thinking we've got this pattern going on here where it's a falling wedge that's coming downward. And I'm thinking that the tighter this gets, the more likely we get a pop up, which would bring us right around to that price where the average buyer is, which is around $7 to $9. So Glxy is not one I would want to sleep on because they do own, I believe, like the second or third most amount of Bitcoin when it comes to miners or crypto related companies, right? So we have Hive, again, Hive blockchain. They're a big player too. I really wouldn't sleep on these names. I remember looking at this back in, what was it, 2020, and thinking, oh my god, what a nice pattern. It's an ascending triangle and it's so clean, and it happened over a long period of time. So let's look at how long it took to develop that, right? I think that's important because it just signifies like from the very bottom to right before a huge market pull, right? One entire year, right? So think about this, right? This is a massive downtrend, and then one entire year of developing a massive pattern before it was able to make that massive run, right? So is that going to happen again? Who knows if it's going to happen again? But I do think with the next crypto bull run, this is one of the names you're going to want to pay attention to, right? It's very similar what's going on, right? Massive drawdown. It's going to take probably a year or maybe a little more to develop, a new accumulation of buyers. So it's going to take some time, but I do think that it's worth paying attention to these names. Hive is definitely one of them. Defi, I'm starting to think that this one might be one of those names that just falls under. Of course, going to keep it on the watch list because all these crypto related stocks are very volatile. And if you can catch a trade in it, it'll be probably a rewarding one. Just like what happened here, right? Very rewarding. I'll never forget this trade. But I do think that I'm starting to like lose hopes on DeFi. We're going to keep up on a weekly basis to keep up. But for now, what we want to see is some sort of base to continue, right? Not continue, a base to develop. What we don't want to see is the downtrend continue. It's sitting at 13 cents. So it's getting close to pretty much worthless, right? Hut Technologies or Hut 8 Mining Corp. Hut is supposed to be one of those big players. Again, look how it's so deeply drawn out. My two that I'm sticking with is Glxy and Wndr. I also like Immutable Holdings a little bit, which we'll get into, but don't sleep on Hut. It's a big player. They're one of the top 10 miners, I believe. So these names, right? Mara, again, all these names are destroyed. And what I highlighted at the beginning was the euphoria and the fear levels in the market. So again, it's not financial advice, but I think that the bottom is coming sooner than later. So I think it's going to, of course, be hard for some people, but I do think it's important to notice that you want to invest when it's fearful, right? Like this is just Warren Buffett's simple like investing psychology. Like be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. It's simple as that. So Coinbase, 52-week lows on Coinbase. Do you think they're going to go away? They are one of the main, crypto exchanges, and I assume that a lot of people who do want to get into crypto will be using Coinbase simply because it's well known, popular. Not too sure on the stance when it comes to regulation, but I imagine that the US is going to come out with some bill sometime soon regarding the legality, regulation, and the compliance of all that shit. So here we have tokens.com. This one is the Canadian coin. Now, this has been absolutely slaughtered. If you're bullish on it, keep an eye. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. But I think, again, DeFi, which is now Valor, and tokens.com, these are some that I'm more wary of, and I'd rather stick with the stronger names. Bitfarms is supposed to be a solid one as well, right? A lot of companies have partnered with Bitfarms. I believe they are a miner. So again, it sucks to see this happen, but like if this survives, again, the opportunity here is at 67 cents and it was at 10. So like if this one really does decide to turn up and then crazy things happen, there's a massive opportunity here, even to get to the average price of $3.50. There's big gains potential. This one is Silvergate Capital, and this is the pattern for sure. We're developing a massive falling wedge here. It's massive. I want to see if we come back to that trend line and if we can hold it, because if so, that's the buy opportunity if we touch this trend line. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. I'm thinking we come back there, that's the buy opportunity, and then that top trend line is going to be our resistance. Again, a lot of these crypto names, man, they fly. Like, they're so volatile. So it's important to pay attention because you'll be able to catch that quick, you know, it's at a low, you buy, and then you hold for a few weeks, and before you know it, there's a potential 100% trade. Like, it's wild how these crypto related names do that, right? Look right here, 100% trade within 57 days. So nuts, man. I love it. I love it. We have Clean Spark. Don't know too much about this one, but it is shaping up some sort of a pattern here. I would just keep eyes on it. So for anyone who knows any details about Clean Spark, maybe leave some comments down in the description or whatever you want to leave a comment in the comment section, whatever. So tired from the sun, I can't even speak. But again, it's the same sentiment for all these names. Hold, immutable holdings. So I'm not too sure about this one. It's pretty quiet. I don't see much volume, especially if you look at the daily. It's like super choppy. But it seems to be going sideways, right? Not too much selling in terms of like, it's not like you see how can I say that really? We're down fucking like 90 something percent. We're down 96%. What I'm trying to say is how much freaking lower is it really gonna go, right? It's gonna be important to see, like, you know, how does Bitcoin react around like this next little while, right? Like FTX, who knows, right? There's still a bunch of drama going on with that. But I do still think that the Bitcoin bottom is sooner than later. Maybe it already happened. And if so, these names are at a ridiculous discount. So that's kind of the breakdown here. I'm kind of rambling now. So I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.